Hi, everybody, and welcome to Home Staging Talk Show. I have two guests with me today, Johnny Fowler and Bethany McLaughlin, and they are both speakers at our conference coming up in Las Vegas. They're amazing, and I wanted to have them share a little bit about their backgrounds and what they're going to be covering at the conference for those of you that are planning on attending. And I love these two individuals. They're awesome, and you definitely want to come and learn from them. So I'll start off with you, Johnny. Tell people about your background and what good information. Let's see, it gets you to be here. I guess I'll just leave it like this. Okay. Hi, Johnny.
Hi. Well, ever since I got out, I've been on the straight and narrow and have done as well as I can. And my PO is very happy with my performance. So I have been in the mortgage industry primarily for over 30 years. What my job is, what my function is, what I like doing, what I help people with is marketing. I think marketing is one of the most important things. Without marketing, you have no sales. Without sales, you have no revenue. You have no company. I am excited. I am so thrilled that you have invited me to be marketing keynote at IAHSP again this year. I look forward to this. Of all of the ones that I do, which are probably 20 plus a year, this is my favorite one because when you put yours together, there is so much education. So many of these that we go to, it's full of fluff. It's full of, sleight of hands and magicians and card tricks. This one that yours is, that you put on, is 100% helping the people that are there to learn more. Now, my portion, what I'm doing is mine's going to be a lot on marketing. Mine's going to be on modern marketing. And that's kind of what I'm known for in this industry. That's what I'm asked to speak on all over the country. But we're going to add in a lot of AI. And when I say AI, I'm not talking about those horrible videos that somebody got you to do that you don't blink in and you type in what you wanted to say and it sounds like a robot or Max Headroom. What I'm talking about is the AI that you can use today. If you start using it today, you can train it on to perform for your SEO, search engine optimization. I want people that are going to attend to understand how important AI is coming forward. Things like the fact that every one of Alphabet's products, which is Google, YouTube Shorts, and so forth, is based on Gemini. Everything inside of Microsoft, everything inside of most of the search engines is based off of ChatGPT. If you're not training these AI systems, somebody else is training it not only for you, but against you. So I want to show people how to use this. I want to show people how you can use these systems for very few minutes at a day and teach it how to get you organic lead generation, organic traffic coming into your website, coming into your social media, coming into wherever you point it and want it to. I'm really, as you can tell, I am really excited about IAHSP 2025. I am really excited about Vegas, obviously, and getting to spend time with the people that you have. You've got one of the most amazing groups that there's ever been a part of, and I am so blessed to be able to be there one more time.
Well, we're thrilled to have you coming, and I am so intrigued about the whole AI, and you just triggered something in my mind about Gemini versus ChatGPT, and I have ChatGPT, but I haven't really done a lot with Gemini, and so because of that, I'm missing out on the whole Google, that whole part of it too. So those of you that are watching, one of the things I love about Johnny is that you come up with actionable information that you can implement right away. It's not, it's not at the surface like snorkeling. We're actually doing a deep dive. And so you'll actually be able to implement things versus, oh, now if you want to do something, you got to buy this book, take another class, sign up for something else. He reveals all of it. And the algorithms, talk about the algorithms in social media just briefly. They keep changing. And I keep learning so much from you every time the things shift. You share that information.
Well, what's really funny about you asking that is something that I give to her husband. It's something that I give to realtors all across the country. I talk about the conversation I had with John Norris. I guess it's been about 10 months ago now. So the algorithms inside of social media change so fast and so frequently because what they're trying to do is compete against each other. So Meta is competing against Alphabet. They're all competing against TikTok, which is competing against LinkedIn, which is a backwards system anyway. But they're all competing against each other. The idea is to keep those eyeballs inside of their world, keep those eyeballs inside of the Meta world, inside of the Alphabet world, and so forth. So how do they do that? They have to change their algorithms to what we are trained and what we're used to. One of the things that I tell this story about all over the country is hashtags. I remember putting up a post, and I believe it was on February 1st of 2024, talking about how as of this day, hashtags are dead for social media. And some people believed it, some people didn't, some people didn't understand it. John Norris reached out to me and said, please explain this. And this is how I explained it to John. On January 31st inside of Meta, what they wanted you to do is snap a picture of y'all's deck with 12 inches of snow on it. And they wanted you to show that picture, post it on all of the Meta platforms. They wanted you to say hashtag snow, hashtag Denver. On February 1st, all of that changed. It changed drastically and dramatically, and hashtags were not relevant anymore. What they want now is they want search engine optimization, SEO. That's one of the things I'm teaching with the AI class. They want search engine optimization, and by doing that, you have to be descriptive in what it is that you're doing. So one day, February 28th, they wanted you to snap that picture and say, January 31st, they wanted you to snap that picture and say hashtag snow, hashtag Denver. On February 1st, they wanted you to snap that picture and they wanted you to be descriptive. And they wanted you to say, I woke up at 9:30 this morning. There's 12 inches of snow here in Denver, Colorado. Another amazing day with 33-degree temperatures. So they wanted you to change this. Now, what's funny is I told everybody this back February 1st when it happened. And now all of a sudden I'm getting people responding and reacting to it saying, oh my God, you were right. I got the notification in Instagram today saying hashtags weren't relevant anymore. You couldn't follow hashtags anymore. So that's one of the things that we have to pay attention to. We have to understand. We have to understand why putting up graphics on social media kills your score, kills your edge rank. We have to understand why putting up outside videos from other systems kills inside of your pieces of social media. We have to understand and be able to watch and see what not only the audience wants to see, but what we will be rewarded for inside of each one of these social media systems. And that's what I like teaching people is what to watch for, what to read, and how to do it. Now, the cool thing about it is 95% of the people in the country are either lazy or they're scared, so they won't do it. So you're fighting against a very small amount of people. One of the things that I'm getting a kick out of, one of the things that I have just enjoyed is one of the people that I teach and coach and train on this is now making, let's say, beyond 7 figures off of social media just by putting videos together about silly things like chocolate chunk cookies. And I'll just leave it at that one. I'm sorry, double chocolate chunk cookies.
Yep. Which we're not going to eat because we're slimming down, but we're gonna have fun in Vegas. No, I love that. I think a lot of the it's interesting because the content, you're right, has definitely shifted. I remember it was I think when Facebook first started, it was just all text, right? And then they allowed images. Images were popular, and then videos, and then it went back to images, and then it went back to, you said recently, the text with the color behind it. So they're constantly shifting. And I didn't realize, I knew not to put hashtags on Facebook, but I didn't realize that also applied to Instagram. That makes sense because it's the same platform. So
Meta was the last one to adopt that. It started theoretically with Alphabet first, then TikTok. LinkedIn is still okay, but LinkedIn is owned by Microsoft. It's so backwards. But yeah, Instagram and Facebook, they're no-nos.
Yeah, Instagram actually just put out this notification last Friday that as of December 13th, hashtags you follow will no longer be visible on your feed, and you won't be able to follow them anymore on Instagram.
So you want to follow people, you want to follow, actual people, the content versus just a topic, right? Which is what that means.
Not only follow people with content, follow people who are being descriptive. By doing that, it is theoretically guilt by association both ways. So if you are part of a group, if you are part of an individual that's getting high rankings, that's getting lots of views, getting what you want, that's where you want to be. If you're part of a group, if you're part of an individual that is getting very low interaction because they're fighting against algorithms that they will never win, that is guilt by association, and it will lower your score also, and it lowers your interaction and the people who see you.
And one of the things I've learned from you, you've talked about this several times, and it's so important for people to remember, is if you want to increase your engagement, people just hit the like button, and you said this basically like a big, nothing to that person. You don't have to love it or bitter emoji. And when you do that, to 3 different people, they'll see your next 3 posts. Every time you like, you love or comment on something, that person is going to see your next 3 posts. So be intentional. If you want somebody's business, you want them to see something, you need to then interact with them first. So that was also really revealing, because people just kind of go through like, and that does nothing for them and their business at all.
Nothing whatsoever. And it's at the point, for the most part now, people who understand social media, a thumbs up is almost an insult. Giving me a thumbs up is the same thing as flipping me off if I think you know what you're doing in social media. So what you're talking about is using the emotes, the emoticons, the emojis, and so forth. The emotes is one of the biggest issues with this, because 76% of all internet traffic is done right through that thing right there. It is so easy to fat thumb a like and keep going. People don't do that, though. They fat thumb a like, they scroll back, they unlike it without ever reading that post, just because it's human nature. So if you, as one of the #1 stagers in the country, and obviously #1 where you're from, things that you can do, you find the real estate agents that list the most properties that are the properties that you like doing, that you want to be part of. You find them on social media, you interact with them, you throw up hearts, you throw up loves, you throw up cares on the properties. They don't have a choice. They're going to see your next 3 posts no matter what. So it puts that 8 to 12 times in front of them every single time, so you can be the first one they see. And there's a couple other little tricks that I show people. If you'll remember my top 25 and my top 100 list, to where we can make it to where whoever you want will see your post first above anyone and everyone else, just by doing one simple little tip, one simple little check button on social media. So we need to do those things. We need to understand how they work.
And I also thought it was amazing that most people probably don't know this either, that the number of people that you're connected to is tied directly to how many people see your posts. And if you have, what is it, something 1,500 or less, there's only 7 people, 3,000, it's like 15 or something. And so it's, that to me is because I know there's no way they could put everybody's feed into our things. There's just too much content, but that's so limiting. And so the strategy that you're talking about then helps to kind of bypass that, because you're forcing people who may not otherwise see your content to see it and engage with you, which I think is genius.
We're using the programming that these systems have been built on for our benefit. We're using what they told us it was for, to talk to friends and family, to talk to more friends and family. We're using the attributes that they give us. It's very much a Pavlov's dog theory type system. So what you're talking about is, none of us paid for Facebook. None of us paid for Instagram. None of us paid for TikTok. None of us paid for YouTube, any of those things. So the way that they make their money is through advertisement. That's by keeping eyeballs inside of their world. Now, they have to decide how much bandwidth they give to each person. So if you continue to put up, let's say you put up YouTube videos on Facebook, which pisses them off, they show you to a smaller audience continuously until you're just not relevant anymore. As far as the number of friends, there again, bandwidth, it's a business. We've got to remember that about social media. These are businesses. So if you have a very small following, if you have a very small group of friends, and that number, magic number, is 1501, If you have anything less than that, then all they have to do is give enough bandwidth for your top 7 people to see what it is that you're putting out there. They don't have to give you enough bandwidth to be seen on 700 people's sites. You'll never be seen on all of your friends. The only way to do this is to increase your followers, to increase your friends and the numbers of those so we can be seen by more people. See, we're in sales. Our job is to be seen by more people with the most incredible products that we have. If we are secret agents where we don't want anybody to know that we're on social media, it works very well. Nobody will ever know that you're on social media. So it's teaching you the understanding of how these algorithms work and how to make them work for you to benefit you. Again, the cool thing is less than 5% of the people will ever do this. So you're seen as that authority. I make the joke all the time, and I'm sure you've heard me say it. When we're brought home from the hospital, they bring us home from the hospital when we're born. They prop us up in front of a pillow. They make us face that YouTube or that television screen. And then whatever we see on that television is the authority. That's why my generation loves Mr. Rogers. We love Big Bird, things like that. That's why today, if you go to any of the events, the festivals in your area, and you see your local weatherman at those events, we get all excited. Oh my God, it's Bob Boudreaux. That guy's wrong 70% of the time with what he says, but he's on that screen. He is the authority, so we believe that. What I ask people to do, what I want them to do is I want them to be on that screen. I want them to be seen by everybody who is their customer, their potential customer. And by doing these and using these algorithms for our benefit, we're seen by a massive audience instead of a very few people.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, people that are watching, I didn't tell Johnny ahead of time, like talk about these things. You can just see he just knows so much. He's so knowledgeable. And the reason is because he uses these platforms for his own business. And so that's how he and Bethany figured out the nuances and all the algorithms. And you guys are just an amazing dynamic duo. And Bethany, you've been sitting there very patiently and looking gorgeous. So why don't you introduce yourself for people who don't know who you are?
I'm Bethany McLaughlin. I have been working in the mortgage industry. It'll be 7 years in April. That's actually when I came into the mortgage industry. I was actually working for Johnny, and we just found a synergy between the two of us. Just really, we understand each other very well, and he has taught me a lot. And we very much work very well as a team. So I am actually American Financial Network's social media manager, as well as I support Johnny in his divisional efforts for recruiting. And I do a lot of the behind the scenes work. So I talk to Facebook, I talk to Meta. I'm constantly studying, trying to figure out what's the next move. I follow a lot of people that are very knowledgeable, like Gary Vee. And just, trying to see, okay, what's the next thing coming? How can we be ahead of the curve? And I do a lot of teaching. A lot of teaching. I've always taught in some capacity, but especially in this role, I do a lot of teaching because a lot of people think they know how to do social media, and what they know how to do is print media. And this is a very common misconception because so many people believe that they know what social media is, and they kind of follow the lead of their marketing team, and their marketing team a lot of times knows print media. And so they try and apply that logic to social media, and it does not work. And it really frustrates me because I feel like you're setting up these people to fail when you try and apply this logic. And people just get so frustrated, and then they say, oh, social media doesn't work. And we're like, no, that's not the case. You're just not utilizing the tool properly. You're essentially trying to use a screwdriver where you need a hammer. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to show people you. And this point of vulnerability, being willing to show yourself to the public, to the community, and being that authentic version of yourself to the public is a little scary for a lot of people, but it is the way to win on social media. And a lot of people, when we talk about branding, I mean, it's almost, innate in all of us. Okay, branding, my logo, my colors. And, like people would, my brand would be pink and sparkly. And while that is part of it, definitely, that is not, all that I am. My job is not all that I am. I have my own brand. And if you go to my page, you pretty much know me. You know that I go to the gym, I have pugs, and I love pink and sparkly stuff. That's pretty much me right there.
And makeup. You're amazing with your makeup. I love that too.
I love makeup. And people, that's me. That's me all day long. Doesn't matter what my job is. That is me all day long. But that's a brand, and people need to recognize that. I mean, even if you have to come to it, if being completely vulnerable to people and showing people who you are is too much for you to hang on to, and a lot of people it is, because it is it's a shift in how you view marketing. I encourage people, create a character. Okay. Who is if you could picture your best self, what would that look like? And be that person on your social media. Even if you feel like that's not your authentic say every single day, fine. It's a character. Okay.
Just get something out there, right?
Get it out there, because that is what makes you uniquely you. People don't get, there are 1,000,003 realtors out there. There are way too many realtors out there. There are way too many loan officers out there. The industries are saturated. But you know what makes somebody reach out to you? It's that extra piece that they can relate to. It's them saying, oh, she's a mom too. Oh, she waits in the line for her kids and she's annoyed by the cross guard too. Oh God, I had that happen. I'm going to reach out to her because you know what? I had that same thing happen. What is this? It's just a whole family of people that are just annoying. What is that? That extra of being willing to be vulnerable and have a little entertainment and have a little fun and be human. That is a brand that people don't recognize whenever they talk about companies and stuff like that. No, that is what makes you you. That is what makes you approachable. And ultimately, that is how you win on social media. People want to be able to reach out to people that they can relate to and do business with people that they like and can relate to.
I think that's so important, that the connection. I feel like sometimes in our household, we should have helmet cams on, because stuff happens and then you're saying like, darn it, I wish we'd have that film, because it's like, somebody falls or some disaster happens or, something hilariously funny and you can't recreate it. But I feel like some of those unscripted moments are the ones I think that are the most relatable. Like when I first started my show, I was streaming it through Facebook Live, and I had a little, stand for my cell phone, and it was springy. And so at one point in the show, the thing my phone just exploded out of the thing. It went doing and flew on the floor. So it's live and it was filming through the phone. So people are seeing, me wrestling on the ground and getting it back on and laughing. And, that kind of stuff is just the real life,
Yes.
The real life experience, just, sharing experiences, because I think that makes sense, because I know that like Facebook, for example, or Meta really wanted to get back into more of the connection, the human connection aspect. And that's why they really were stressing the reels and the videos and so forth. And they weren't, dumb about purchasing Instagram, because that's what Instagram was largely about, was all the videos and so forth. And so you're right. People don't like how they look on camera. They don't like how they sound, but it's like, just get over it. I look back at some of my shows. I'm thinking my hair, I don't know what I had, like the little bangs with my thing. I'm thinking like, oh my God, that's such an ugly hairdo, but it evolves. But it's it's life. It was me, and so it's just put yourself out there. And I read something. I don't know, it could have been on one of your profiles even, that people are so obsessed about what people think about them, but most people are thinking about themselves, not you. They're not judging the other person. They're thinking about themselves. And if people just can understand that, then they're free to put the content out there. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be perfectly coiffed in makeup, and, be real.
Yes, 100%.
Not one person watched any of your videos in the beginning and said, oh my God, look at her hairdo. Turn this shit off. That they did not. What they did is they came on and they said, holy shit, did she just say that she moved into a 16,000 square foot storage facility to keep all of her assets in? 16,000 square foot, when I would bet that the average house across the country is 2,000 square foot. Trying to fathom things like that. That's what they care about. That's what they wanted to know about. And I want to know what it is that I can do to get to that point in my life to where I have to have a 16,000 square foot storage facility to keep all of my stuff.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. And then, yeah. And certainly home staging, real estate is very visual. So there's no lack of content for, in a property, filming what you're doing, showing yourself working, and just, the visual in a warehouse, showing all the chaos that ensues and all the stuff. That to me, people are interested in that because they're, I think they're sort of fascinated by the industry. So I feel like real estate agents, stagers, designers, we don't really have an excuse to say we don't have enough content. Yep.
I agree completely. What I do get a kick out of about for people, the ones in IHOSP, is if you've never been to one of these conventions that Jenny puts on, that the group inside of IHOSP does, it is some of the most colorful people you will ever meet in your life. Yep. Every one of them are peacocks. And then when you do this and you say, okay, get on camera, and then every one of them just shut down. Oh my God, I can't get on camera. I can't. Oh my God. And I'm like, I'm looking at what you're wearing, and you've got on a 12-foot long pink boa with studded shoes and, horn rim glasses, but you're afraid to go on camera, so getting a kick out of that,
I love that they can't turn it off. Wasn't there a restaurant that y'all went to and that the ladies were like, oh no, this is all wrong, and they completely restaged like the
funniest thing I've ever seen, I think, ever going to dinner. We went to this amazing steakhouse, and I don't remember the number of people, but I want to tell you there was probably somewhere between 20 and 24 of us, and it was Jenny taking us to dinner, and had an amazing dinner, amazing group of people, great conversations, great business people. And as Jenny was paying the bill and we get up to leave at this amazing restaurant, all of a sudden you have 20 of these designers, decorators, stagers redesigning, moving shit inside the restaurant, moving tables, moving chairs, moving pictures, and watching their face when they said, who on earth would have ever put this blah, blah, blah glass with this shelf on, and watching them. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. Most people are saying, I cook a better steak than this, or, yeah, I mean, the potato was okay. No. They were upset about whoever it was that decorated this restaurant, and they solved that shit before we left.
They're like, no, we have to fix this.
It was that would have been a classic thing, like having the video would have been great to catch that content. I didn't know what was happening, and that kind of joined in at the end. But yeah, they restyled all the shelves, and even in their rooms, we had a big suite, so there was 3 or 4 of us all staying together, and they restylized all of that too. And sometimes people just can't help themselves.
I love it. I mean, come on, that's wonderful.
Those two women from Boca Raton, Florida, and Blair, and I can't remember. I'm just a cat. It was just, again, it was the funniest thing watching them
Sandra
redesign this restaurant. And this is a higher end, upper end restaurant that they paid somebody big bucks to put all this shit in the wrong place.
Right. Yeah, that's true. And even at that hotel, walking around, it's a Gaylord hotel here in Denver. There's a bathroom down on the convention level thing, and they have like a conglomeration of artwork, montage stuff. And when I first saw it, the hotel hadn't even opened, and I thought, well, this is probably going to go away because it looked like TJ Maxx. It was like none of the stuff went together. It was different, weird sizing. Well, that's still there. And every time I walk past, I'm thinking, like, I really want to redo that artwork. They need, it doesn't. From a staging perspective, to me, it wasn't correct. I didn't talk to anybody at the Gaylord about it, but it's really hard for us not to get our fingers in things when we see things that aren't accurate, like a picture that's askew or a chair that's too far.
I get
it's a sickness. It's a sickness. It's a sickness. What is it? Muck used to say, it's a blessing and a curse.
It's a gift that keeps on giving.
Yes. Well, I'm so looking forward to having
you both. Cool for somebody like me that has no idea anything about it, listening to them explain why something needs to be 65 to 70% of the wall size, blah, 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 and why it needs to be in groups of 3. And the things about, it doesn't matter. Wood is wood. So you can, and listening to this, it's like, and then you see it, you watch them doing it. It's like, holy shit, it should have always been that way, right. But never understanding about the ratios and all of the things. This is not, it truly is a science. It's just not somebody saying that this shade of red goes with this shade of gray. It is knowing how to do this. That's another thing, Bethany. I don't know if you know this about the group, but they have trainings, and they have all of these people that are degreed teachers inside of this group. That you may be fantastic at decorating, but if you don't understand the science behind it, and they teach you this, it's absolutely amazing. Not only that, the discounts. That's my big thing, because I'm cheap, I'm tight. The discounts by spending this much money to join this group, the amount of money. Do you want to hear something really funny? This is one of the things that I absolutely got the biggest kick out of. So I don't remember exactly. I know it's minimal money to join IAHSP. When you join IAHSP, Jenny gets a better discount. Now, my brother-in-law spends probably, I don't know, $500,000 a year with Sherwin-Williams. Jenny gets a better discount with Sherwin-Williams off of her little bitty tiny initiation fee to belong to this group than my brother-in-law that spends $40,000 a month at Sherwin-Williams. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's power in numbers. And yeah, so the benefits of joining the association, and an event like this, the conference, where you get to hear from experts, and hopefully you guys can see how knowledgeable both of these individuals are. And you're going to come away with content you're going to be able to implement, and it's going to make a huge difference in your business. So if you were to tell somebody, each one of you share this with me, somebody says, why should I go to this conference? Why should I invest my dollars to travel to Las Vegas at the end of January? What am I going to get out of it?
Can I go first?
You can go first, sure.
Okay. So there's a couple of reasons that I say they should do it. So first of all, you have a group of individuals, and I don't remember the count that you have inside of this group, but you have a number of individuals that are spending thousands of dollars of their own money to come be part of something that is bigger than them. So that tells you right off the bat, this is something worthwhile. Then when you look into it and you look deep into it, and they start teaching you and training you and helping you, and they are there. Because I've done this. I've reached out to Jill Wilcox and talked to her. Deborah Plowden, I've reached out to her and said, hey, what about this? They will help you with it no matter what it is. But then it goes so much farther and so much deeper. It is, again, all of the discounts. It is knowing the right people that have already been through all of the hell that it takes to build a business, and it's sitting right in front of you. Anybody, in my opinion, anybody that's in any industry that has something to do with real estate should be part of this group, should come to this thing, not only for the membership, for the discount, for the camaraderie, but all of the people that have got 20 and 30 and 40 years at doing this underneath their belt. It is by far one of the greatest think tanks that there has ever been, put together with the most humble people that don't realize that they are absolutely brilliant. If you truly put these people together and put them on a stage to sell the tickets to this, people, if they knew, would spend $5,000 to buy a ticket to listen to these people talk and tell you exactly, do this, don't do this. I wasted X dollars doing this. If you'll do this, you will make this. If you find these people, this will happen. It's some of the most genuine people. It is one of the greatest events that there is, period, with real humans actually doing the job.
That's awesome. Thank you for that. You just wrapped it up really beautifully. And Bethany, what would you say to somebody who says, why should I go?
I'd say that Johnny just stole my thunder. No, I'm kidding. I would say that your most important investment is yourself. And anytime that you can find a group of people that has this kind of synergy that will help your business level up, you found gold. So I would say absolutely do it. It's the beginning of the year. Why not start off the year with a bang and really invest in yourself and your business. It's a wonderful group of people. I always learn something new, whether even the first year that Johnny went and I wasn't able to go, I learned when he came back, he was just talking nonstop about it. But the energy around this conference is just amazing. And then getting to be around like-minded people who are really trying to live their best lives and invest in their business and level up their business as well. There is a power in that. And starting off the year that way, I think there's no better way to do it.
That's awesome. I see. So that also spot on, because I think the timing of the conference, to be able to set yourself up for success for 2025 and beyond. And you know that I just appreciate and love you both so much. And I'm privileged to have you coming and sharing with our group. And those of you that are watching, I know it's the 80-20 rule. I know that 20% of the people are going to have 80% of the business. So the top business owners, if that's somebody that you want to be identified with in that 20%, you got to get yourself there. And we have a great lineup. Johnny's going to have a 3-hour session on the first day, and Bethany will be right before him. So lots of marketing information, which I love. And you're going to be able to use that information to enhance your business for 2025. So thank you both for being on.
Wait. So why does this happen to me? Last time you put Miss America on before me. Now you're putting on a beautiful blonde before me. So are we just setting these people up to just be disappointed? Can we fix this at some point in time?
Oh my goodness.
I got to find somebody.
I mean, seriously, it was Miss America. Miss America opened for me last time. Now it's you. I mean, wouldn't you be upset if it's like, you know, there's this beautiful woman that's teaching you about this, and then all of a sudden it's this fat, ugly old guy?
Oh my God.
I think she does this on purpose.
Yeah. That's my plan, Johnny. We're going to do something for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you no matter what. Thank you very much.
Bye.